fellow cigar lovers and addicts. You know what time it is? Damn right. It's old fogey time, so sit back and relax, because we're fixing to blast off.
Welcome to the Death Star Cigar Bar. Let's smoke it.
Now it is time for a stick and a story. This blend was the personal favorite of Arsenio himself, created from his favorite Aganorsa seeds grown on his favorite Aganorsa farms. This goddamn stogie is a Nicaraguan puro and is a 6x52 Toro blended by a Cuban legend for his own enjoyment. Arsenio is named for Arsenio Ramos, who developed the signature flavor for which Aganorsa is famous. The Corojo wrapper of the Arsenio Corona had a pale cinnamon hue.
Hello, my fellow cigar lovers and addicts. The old fogey coming at you today, here from the back porch of my house here in Blue Springs, Missouri. It's a beautiful summer day, early summer day. Actually got off of work early today. I am a equipment operator for a local plumbing company, and I ripped open a water main today. It wasn't marked. The locators did not have it marked, and I was looking for a sewer stub and ripped that baby open, and it was old faithful, just started bubbling up out of the ground. But anyway, so I had an accident, so I had to go do the breathalyzer and make sure that I wasn't wasted or drunk or something, and they gave me the rest of the afternoon off because the city's got to fix what we were doing. They really didn't have anything else lined up for me today, so I'm taking this opportunity to smoke a fine cigar with you guys. So as Simon told you, we are smoking the Aganorsa Leaf Arsenio. I have never had one of these. It looks like a really good cigar. I mean, it smells great, the construction on this thing, and I mean, you know, a lot of times when you get cigars and they're kind of like mushed on one side or smushed on one side and they're not perfectly round, you know, this baby looks like a, you know, sub-torpedo. It is perfect. So I'm just going to kind of sit here and give this baby a chop and a char, and we'll get into this thing. Don't you hate that when you don't take the butt out of your clipper and it's stuck in there? I always forget to do that sometimes, and it makes for a little bit of a mess. But I'm just using my Lotus cutter today. These are pretty sweet, man. I really like this thing. But it helps if you get rid of the butt. Drawing, this is pretty smooth. Getting a lot of like, damn, almost like mahogany note to it. Anyway, let's give this thing a char and see how it tastes. I hope you all are having a good day. I know I'm doing good. Just I hate it when things happen at work. You know what I mean? We all have good days, we all have bad days, but it's like here lately I've had more bad days than good days, just because stupid shit just keeps happening to me all the time. And you know, my bosses, I hope that they realize that, you know, I'm not a dipshit. You know, and that, you know, it's just coincidence, and things happen, right? Just dress this edge up. I take the tiny little edge of that flame and just kind of draw me around a nice starting line on that outer leaf, and away we go. Well, right off light up, and of course they usually are, just zing to the nose. I think I'll wait till I get into this a little bit before I do another French exhale. But Mm. Almost got a little piney note to it. There's a sharpness, um, something I'm trying to discern, but it almost is like pine nuts. It's what it kind of tastes like. You know, like when you make a good pesto and you crush up those pine nuts and you taste them before you put them in your pesto. A lot of times I take my pine nuts and I'll crush them up in my mortar and pestle. You know, it really breaks that open and you get all that aroma to go into your pesto. But that's kind of what I'm getting, almost like a pine nut note. Pine nut note. Say it out real fast, like 16 times. Mm. Also, definitely getting really deep, like double espresso flavor out of that strong coffee flavor. Um, Pretty good so far. So anyway, I figured it'd be a great day for a stick in the story. Let me clean myself up here a little bit, guys. Shit. That last video I did, I didn't realize I had trimmed my beard and I looked like freaking Wookalar. my Opus shirt had hair and shit all over it. I didn't even know it. But that kind of happens to you when you get a little older, like me. So anyway, I figured it'd be a perfect summer day to share some things. And today I'm wearing a tie-dye, which I actually made, and which kind of leads me in to today's story. And I figured since I was smoking the blue banded Arsenio, I'd wear my blue tie-dye. But I started making tie-dyes, oh man, I want to say back in probably 1985, 1987. I was just getting out of high school, hooked up with some good friends of mine that were some deadheads, and man, they always had these cool ass shirts. And you know, of course, back then I was like, you know, hell into smoking weed. I mean, you know, who wasn't drinking and smoking weed when you were, you know, 18, 19? And if you weren't, it's okay. You didn't really miss out on too much fun. Oh yes, you did. But anyway. So I hooked up with these guys and started going to some concerts and some shows and stuff, and they always had these cool tie-dyes, and I was like, man, where'd you get these? And they're like, well, there's a little shop down here in Kansas City that we get them at. It's called, what was it called? It was called Grateful Day, I believe it was. It's not in business anymore, but anyway, I was like, man, this is cool, so I wanted to look it up, you know. And I remember back in high school, they had like, you know, teachers would have you like make tie-dyes out of like RIT dye and all that crap. And I was like, man, that ain't the shit that they're using to make the real tie-dyes with. So I did some research with it, and I found this company out in California who is one of the original suppliers of what is called Procyon fiber reactive dyes, which is what you make these tie-dyes with. And so I researched Dharma Trading, and this was right back when you could actually get on the internet at first, you know what I mean? This was like pre all of that shit, you know, so it was kind of hard to find, but I did get on there, did find some information, and ordered some stuff. And it's not just dye. I mean, this is a chemistry project. I mean, you have to, you know, you have to soak it in soda ash and let the fibers of the shirt really break down, and you have to, man, that's tasting good. Just a little pop. I mean, it just, I'm not gonna try to explain what it is yet, but just a good mouthfeel, good solid smoke, good draw. But anyway, so you got to tear down the fibers so that the dye will adhere into it, and then you got to soak that in there for a while. And then you got to wring the shirts out as best you can, and then you got to tie everything up. And a lot of people use rubber bands. You can use some rubber bands. I like to use like sinew or like some butcher's twine. Really tie it, because how you get a lot of these, what they call resists, where you still got some white where the dye didn't fully get into the shirt, is from it being scrunched together so tight that the dye can't penetrate it. And that's why you tie it up. You tie it really good and tight, and then you got to mix up your dyes, and you got to take the powder, and you got to take this stuff that's called urea, and if it's too thin, then you have to have like some kelp type shit that you put in to thicken it up just right. I mean, it's a whole process, but it's really cool. It's fun. You know, and we used to have tie-dye parties all the time. I'd call people up and be like, hey, I'm going to mix up a bunch of stuff. You guys just bring 100% cotton shirts and come on over and we'll make it up. And man, I can't tell you how many awesome tie-dye parties that I've had over the years with a lot of cool people. And then I went to my very first Grateful Dead concert after I'd gotten into doing this, and really seen some really cool tie-dyes from some people that had been making them for decades, you know. And I would ask them, I was like, hey, what are you doing? How are you making that? How do you do this? And of course, them old hippies, man, they didn't give a shit about, you know, trade secrets or anything like that, like it is nowadays, where, you know, you got your 11 herbs and spices, and I'll have to shoot you before I tell you what it is, kind of shit, you know. And they would sit down with you, and, you know, we'd freaking, you know, we'd either be tripping or we'd be smoking some bud or smoking some opium and just sit around and listen to music. And, you know, they kind of show me some tricks and some trades and some, you know, trade secrets of how they made these really cool tie-dyes, you know. And it's pretty interesting. It's a very time-consuming thing, but I mean, there's a reward to it, you know what I mean. I've got all kind of stuff that I've made over the years and made for people, and had a guy that showed me how to do a mandala, which is kind of like this star burst explosion thing. It's really intricate tie job. And but I've got a couple of those that I've made, and in fact, you've probably seen some of my shorts with that shirt on it. And I just really loved getting into the tie-dyes and then making them. And then I went to several other Grateful Dead concerts. It was just, let me tell you, man, you know, the thing about the Dead that a lot of people just don't get is, you know, you go to concerts and bands play, you know, the same sets over and over and over. It's identical, identical, identical. You know, they may change it up here and there, but for the most part, not. And the thing about the Dead that was so awesome was, it was like, and I even went to like sequential shows, like they'd have a show one night and then they'd have a show the next night, you know. In fact, we went to see, this was 1990. We went to see them on a Friday night out at Sandstone Amphitheater here in Kansas City, and had a great show. And then the next night we came back, and it was like the show was just, it was totally different. And they play each song differently, you know. It's just like, because it's just about the jamming, you know. They just get up there and jam out and do their thing. And yeah, they have songs, but they just wing it most of the time. And that's, to me, that's the allure of the Grateful Dead. That's the attraction of the Grateful Dead. That's why I love their music so much, and loved going to their shows. And, you know, just, it was a freaking time machine, man, you know. And everybody was there, and they had the, you know, the Rainbow family and the Deadheads that would just follow them all around. And they were just always looking to get to the next show, get to the next show. So they'd sell shirts, or they'd sell beads, or they'd sell crystals, or they'd sell bottled water, or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? Watermelon, you know. And some mushrooms, and some nitrous oxide, and some good old LSD. You know, but that was a gimme. You know, there was always good drugs to be had at a Grateful Dead show. I mean, if you ever wanted to experience something like that, that was the place to go. Oh man, so now picking up a really strong note of caramel. The French exhale's kind of calmed down a little bit, but I'm just kind of getting like a hay flavor to it. You know what I mean? There's nothing really profound. It's not like a pepper blast or anything like that, but it's kind of got a little bit of a hay taste in my nostril on the French exhale. But so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. It's smoking well. You know, I got one little issue right there. And I'll just do a tiny little touch up on that little turd. Just throw a little heat at it and let it work its way back. But overall, the ash is looking good, and it seems to be a pretty good cigar. But yeah, man, so you'd get out in the parking lot, and there was always somebody that had nitrous, you know. And I'm not talking about whippets like you make the ice cream shit with. I mean, I'm talking about tanks of like dental doctor nitrous oxide that they pull your teeth with and shit, you know. And they would have tanks of that, and they'd blow up these giant ass fucking balloons, just monsters. And you know, it was like $5, you know. And man, you could sit there and hit on that thing, and usually while you were waiting for your shrooms to kick in or your dose to kick in and shit, that would just kind of like slingshot you into it, you know what I mean? And I don't know if you guys have ever done nitrous before, but you know, even at the doctor's office, it's kind of metered. This is like straight nitrous to the old main brain, and man, it just messes with your sound waves. It just your hearing. It just kind of just gives everything this weird little edging to it. You know, everything that comes in, and just it's fun though, and you will laugh. You will truly laugh your ass off if you're hitting the nitrous. But anyway. And so I've smoked a little bit more of this thing. I'm not even down into the final third yet. And to be quite honest with you, I'm done smoking this thing. It has been very linear the whole way. I mean, it's good construction, good smoke production, but this thing, I can't get rid of the grass, like cut grass taste. It just has like a cut grass taste in my nose, in my mouth. There's a bitterness to it, like I said, the black walnut bitterness, but even like now, like that nuttiness has gone away, and it's just kind of like it's just kind of like charred, like got a charred flavor to it. And it's just it's not good. So I'm not even going to finish this and waste any more of your time, and especially for this having an $18.50 price point for me at my local humidor. I'm going to rate this thing as straight up
dog turd.
Yeah, to me it's that bad. I don't know. I've got another one. Maybe I'll let it age for 6 months and revisit it again. But for the most part, I ain't gonna finish the thing. It's just not. It hadn't been an enjoyable smoke. So I think I'll probably just wait for a little while, and I'll go grab me an Ashton VSG and smoke on that. But anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Hope you guys, don't go out and waste a bunch of money on the Aganorsa Arsisno, because it's not worth it at all. There's a lot better smokes out there for a lot less money. So anyway, thanks. Peace.
Thanks for watching the Old Fogey Stogies.